Romans chapter number 10, verses number 1. Are we in agreement? Are we together? Are you happy? If you're happy. Hallelujah. And I tell you today, you are going to be walking in power. Yeah, you are going to be walking in power. You are going to be walking in power. So viewers all over the world, we are greeting you. Connect with us. So Romans 10, I shall read. I'll go verse by verse, but allow me to be quick. It says, brothers and sisters, my heart's desire and prayer to God for the Israelites is that they may be saved. So these are powerful words from Apostle Paul, because on this verse he is pouring out what is inside of his heart, that was in the chambers of his heart. He said, brothers and sisters, my heart's desire and prayer to God for the Israelites is that they may be saved. You know, there are those times in life when we have to pour out what is inside of our hearts. We have people who are dying day in and out, not because of sicknesses, not because of poverty, but because of what is inside of their hearts. Something that you can carry or put in your heart is that thing that can kill you. Do you agree with me that 99.25% of people are dying all over the world? It's not even the sickness that is killing them, but what is killing them is something that is in their hearts. Let me give you a very good example. When your heart is full of fear over that sickness you are having, it's not the cancer that will kill you, but the fear of that cancer is the one that kills. Which means that Apostle Paul took this very moment to express, to say out what was inside of his heart. Ladies and gentlemen, many people have different things in their hearts. They have messages that they are carrying in their hearts, but it's been 20 years, 30 years, failing to pour out what is inside of their hearts. When you see that person being depressed, getting something, what is eating that person or killing that person? Do we say it's high blood pressure or sugar diabetes, or is something that is within the heart? It is something that is in the heart that you are failing to pour out. Many of us have been angered by friends, by relatives, by our boyfriends, by our girlfriends, by our neighbors. Where did we put those words they have used to attack us? We never put them into our minds, but they dwelled into our hearts. They found a resting place, and by so doing, those things you have kept in your heart are the things that might destroy you. So Apostle Paul took this moment to express, to say out what was in his heart. I want you this very moment to ask a neighbor to say out those things that he or she has been keeping for so long. It is something that is very hard. Someone has kept jealousy for 20 years in his or her own heart. Someone has kept some deep secrets in his or her own heart. It is something that touches my heart as well, mostly when I see a woman who was given a child by a certain man, knowing the father of the child. The child grew up. The child asked the mother to tell him the name, or just to show him his father. But because of the bitterness and the anger that is inside of her heart, that bitterness grew to a level that the mother became bitter, even to tell the child the name of the father, even to show the child his father, up until her death. Some families zakatongana dzataka kufunza zvamauda kufa mapa mbede ugwero chitaurayo kuti mwana wababa wake ndiani nekuipa kwemoyo haana kutaura akaramba akazvisunga mwoyo make akatochuza kuti zviri nani kutofa hamudine secret iyoyo than to reveal who the father of the child is. So are you seeing that people's hearts, they carry different things, they carry different messages, they carry different things inside. But I believe that the purpose and the reason why God made the heart, He made the heart for it to pump blood. But look at your heart, it's full of different things. But it is very important mostly to pour out what is in your heart. When you are being angered, call that person and say, my friend, I am not happy with what you have done. I'm only happy of what you have done to me. That to pour things in your heart, things that you put in your heart will kill you. Things that you put in your heart will destroy you. I want you to look at it all over the world. People who have been destroyed, they are not being destroyed by weapons or by anything, but they were destroyed by the words that were said by their enemies. What did they do? They took those words and they kept them into their hearts. So Apostle Paul, he said out what was in his heart. He said, brothers and sisters, my heart's desire. He never said my desire, but he said something that he was desiring, something that he was looking forward to see taking place into the lives of the Israelites. So right now, you know what is inside of your heart. When are you going to pour out like Apostle Paul? See what Apostle Paul did. He said, it's time to tell the Israelites what is inside of my heart. So he said, my heart's desire and prayer, which means a heart and prayer, they work together. Because when we pray, prayer does not dwell in your mind. Prayer does not dwell in your fingertips. Prayer does not dwell on your toes or wherever. But prayer dwells inside of your heart. Which means that when you pray, when it is not coming from your heart, which means you are talking to yourself. When you pray, when it does not come from the chambers of your heart, you are not talking to God, but you are talking to yourself. This is why you see most people, when they pray, their prayers will not reach God. Because the prayer isn't coming from the heart, but the prayer is coming from the mouth. This church don't get what I'm saying. Because here we are seeing Apostle Paul telling them and saying, my heart's desire and prayer. Which means prayer has found one part of the body. The heart. Which means that the heart is the center of it all when we are referring or talking of your body. Your heart is something that you should guard jealously more than other body parties, because you hear God through your heart. God speaks through your heart. So Apostle Paul said, my heart's desire and prayer. Which means that he did not start to pray. But when did it start? It started in the heart. Those things that you pray for. When you pray for something coming from your mind, God will not answer it. Come on. When you pray for things, contemplating over those things, let's say, I want to pray for India. India, I will begin to think of India and start to pray for India. That prayer will not be very effective. Why? Because I'm being moved by the what? By the mind. I will be moved by the heart. So right now, if I say out his heart's desire, after saying out the heart desire, the prayer was not the key or the weapon that he is now using as a tool to overcome those things that he was desiring in his heart.
This is too deep.
Something that you have in your heart, if you are not being led by your heart to pray, you are praying in vain. Prayer starts in the heart. Because here we are seeing Apostle Paul releasing what was in his heart. What was in his heart? His desire. His desires. His desire was within his heart. But prayer now is now a tool that he is now using to have those things that he was desiring. When you desire to have something and you do not pray for those things, then you will not have them. We have got people in church today who are having a desire for some things for so long. Why are they not having those things? Because prayer never followed the heart's desire, but the mind. Which means when it comes from the heart and it goes into the mind, you will get lost. You will not receive it. Apostle Paul is setting a way for us that those things that we desire with our hearts, we can only have them by prayer. Prayer is the key. Prayer is the key. You know the song? Prayer is the answer, which means that those things that were inside of his heart. What does the word say? He said, in the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Which means you speak what you are having in your heart. Speaking is praying to God. This word is too big for you. Which means that what is inside of the heart can only be fulfilled when you pray. Your heart's desire can only be seen through praying, through prayer. Why are people not receiving their heart's desires? What do you desire the year 2025? You hear them say, I desire this, I desire that, I desire this, I desire that. But you see that the year will reach to an end. People without receiving those things that they have desired, why have they failed? They did not apply what Apostle Paul said. He said, my heart's desire and prayer. Are you getting the change? Which means that the heart desire can only be fulfilled or come to pass when you pray. Your desire can only be fulfilled or be seen when you pray. Why are people's heart desires not being fulfilled? Look at people all over the world. Some people, they have died having some desires in their hearts. Some people, they were buried 6 feet without seeing their desires being fulfilled. Money does not make desires to be fulfilled. Do you know that there are people who are filthy rich, having everything? But you hear people now saying on their funeral, saying, yes, my husband was very rich. He wanted to build a triple-story house, and he wanted to build an orphanage, but he failed to build. Not to say that he had no money to build. He had everything, but we're going to continue with the legacy so that the legacy will live on. Why did that person fail to fulfill the desire? That person never prayed over the heart desire. Every desire that you have in your heart, pray for it. Thank you so much. Pray for every desire in your heart. Let me tell you, some desires cannot be fulfilled by your strength. You see someone saying, I will prove them wrong. I will work hard this year. I'm going to sweat. Let me tell you, my friend, there are people who are sweating more than you, who are failing to see desires being fulfilled. Someone will say, I will wake up early in the morning around 4 a.m. 2024, I was waking around 8 a.m. But I'm going to change. Let me tell you, desires cannot be fulfilled by waking up early in the morning. Cannot be fulfilled by working so hard. Desires can only be fulfilled by prayer. Driving a Lamborghini can never be fulfilled by saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to sweat, this year, wait and see, my friend. How many times have you said it every beginning of the year? We are tired of your stories, so change your story. Let me tell you, those things cannot make your desires to be fulfilled. Desires can only be fulfilled only by prayer. Let me tell you, there are people who need everything for their desires to be fulfilled. Let me give you a good example. People like Michael Jackson. He had a lot of things, but there are things that have died. What's not with the Gisa? Why did they fail to fulfill those things? In Paul, Nakarwa, Kurwa, Kwakanaka. Nakachengeta nikapata kutenda. Oh my God. Which means one can run a race and reach to the finishing line through prayer. How many people are running a race right now? Let's say it's a relay. You are holding the stick, the staff, and then someone will come and give you the staff. But no matter how the first runner was sprinting, maybe I can maybe 200 kilometers per hour, but why? Because I need a desire to run.